Welcome, Fae and Foes, to episode 65 of Dion Rising. This right here is a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition actual play campaign brought to you by the Knights of D20. Hey, kids. Dane and I are rocking the Kane gang tonight. Okay. The only announcement we have tonight is that Robin and Bobby may be on Wednesday night at 7 Central, 8 Eastern for tea time. Work schedules pending. But that's it, besides the fact that the gang is back together. It's been a minute since we all got to sit here and play some D&D. So, thank you all for joining us as we embark on an epic adventure in the world of Dion, where heroes rise, dangers abound, and legends are born. Players, dice at the ready. Once again, I didn't actually get out my dice. Good thing I keep them right here.
I'm holding my cane, so I can't use my dice.
I'm not playing a game.
You need a cane that can store dice.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ooh. Dice tower. That's an idea.
I'm gonna be Googling that this whole stream.
Yeah.
We're done.
Yeah. We're gonna need to get our
trademark
skills
that by the end of the
up
day.
Yeah, yeah. Amen. We've already put it out there. I know Baby's over there working on it. She's like, okay, new business idea. We gotta get to it first. Okay. Circle of Sanctuary, last time we played, you guys had defeated, or temporarily defeated, the threat of the Cult of the Leviathan at Lake Kizdinar, where you managed to protect the seals that were keeping the Great Leviathan at bay for now. So, that threat averted for the time being, you headed back to Barak Forge, and you did a little bit of just sort of resting. Our good friend Benji helped Marroway by learning the dream spell and gave him his first night of nightmareless slumber in quite some time. So Marroway's going to be chipping away at those exhaustion points. Finally, maybe he'll be able to get some rolls that don't make us all want to cry. But in the meantime, you guys had a little bit of time to learn some things, to just rest. Seraphina had a spa day. It was an all-around lovely time. Killian did some working out because Dane was gone, so that's what we made Killian do the whole time. He just ran laps around Barak Forge. And where we are jumping off tonight is you have a little bit of options of where you want to go. Barak Forge has this massive sort of teleportation room where they do a lot of their sort of shipping of their precious materials and masterwork crafts out into the world, since they don't really allow a lot of outsiders in their city. That being said, Ado spent some time trying to learn some of those teleportation circles so that you have the option later in time of going to different places around the world of Dion. So you guys have some options here. That being said, you know that there are still threats lingering in the world. You took some time to work on at least procrastinating the Leviathan threat, but Emperor Orin is still out there after you freed him from his long-term prison. And other issues around the world, the Cult of the Leviathan was attacking both Nerdistan and Osled, trying to get in the lake en masse. So the leaders of Barak Forge told you that they would be trying to communicate once you got back and let them know that things are safe at the lake, that they can figure out how things are happening, what's happening at Osled and Nerdistan. So I believe where we left off, it was probably like midday, late afternoon, because you guys took some time that day. Or no, we were going to be waking up the next morning after Marroway's dreams. Isn't that the last thing we did? Mm-hmm. Okay, beautiful. So you guys are all going to awake fully refreshed, so make sure you take your long rest, Marroway especially. And at some point, you are welcome to do this now throughout while we're playing, or save it for after the session, but you guys have leveled up. So
Whoa.
if you would like to start working on that now, and you can continue to play the game while you're doing it, you are welcome to do so. But at some point between this moment and next session, please level yourselves up to, I believe, 10.
Whoa.
Congratulations, double digits, y'all. You guys are really officially heroes now.
Let's go.
Yeah, get into it. And with that, the threats are just going to keep on coming. So, how would you like to spend some time preparing yourselves emotionally, physically, shopping, catching up with old allies, checking on people you care about? Is there anywhere you guys would like to go as you all wake up and have this sort of the open world in front of you? And you can get together and kind of start to plan as you see fit. So let's start with a scene with Marroway and Benji. As Marroway awakens refreshed, and Benji awakens next to him, and Bula curled up snoring next to Marroway as well, having tried her damnedest to stay up to keep them safe, but drifted off because you guys have had a long and hard few days. So, Marroway, as you sort of awaken, Benji's hand in yours, you note that he sort of wakes up with you a little bit. He's just kind of been not quite dozing next to you, controlling your dream spell. But you can feel his presence sort of fade out of your consciousness. But here in reality, he's still with you. He's just releasing hold of that spell that helped you sleep as you awaken. And his eyes look into yours.
Yeah, last time I had grabbed him, we had a big hug. Marroway cried uncontrollably with joy. And I think from there, he would just ask him, I know you're probably tired from staying up all night, but would you like to go get some breakfast before you go to sleep?
Yeah, I'm famished. Let's grab some food, a bite, and we can check on the others, and then I'll hit the sack while you guys figure out what to do next, and you can just wake me up if you feel like you need to leave the city at any point. But let's go grab a bite first. I could use like a breakfast casserole or something.
Marroway's gonna tuck Sir Lavender in with Bula before they go.
Yeah, and I think, Bula, you just sort of feel the shifting and creaking of the bed as these two hop off this, like, essentially twin-sized bed that a massive furbolg boy and massive Bula and very tall Marroway all spend the night in. And you can sort of come to as you feel them getting up, and Sir Lavender is sort of being tucked into bed by Marroway.
Bula just kind of snorts and says, I don't want any more crab apples. Rolls and curls up.
Benji whispers, I'll bring her back a plate for when she wakes up. That always gets her up and going.
I think that she would like that.
And you guys, I think quietly sort of dress. Benji pulls up in his tool belt and his satchels and heads with you out of the room and makes his way down the hall toward the kitchen, passing the rooms of your friends. Would anybody else be up? I think it's not quite super early. I have a feeling Marroway probably slept in a little bit later than he normally would, just having had a good sleep. Benji let him sort of sleep well past sunrise. Would anybody else be waking up at this moment?
Keelan's actually getting back from a run already. Just been running nonstop the entire time, apparently.
Of course.
But Keelan will probably get up early, and I believe you had mentioned last session that there was a lot of excitement about some of the lower levels of Barak Forge being, revealed and things like that. So Killian will probably just talk with some of the gnomish tinkerers, maybe some of the ones that helped with his the revolver, the Magitech gun, and just kind of see what they've been up to. Just kind of seeing what progress they're making, and maybe things they're planning on in the future.
Yeah, definitely. From the Latchkey Collective's sort of office-y workshop space that is, one of many workshop spaces in this like lab, this sort of spider webbing set of halls and rooms where a lot of the tinkerers and gnomes work. You find the Latchkey Collective, all of the like 7 biggest engineers here, biggest metaphorically, not tall. The ones you fought with, and you see Urbessa Coppergleam, sort of their leader, and you find all of the gnomes who helped you build your magical revolver. And they all seem to be, you sort of follow the noise. It's not the usual, metal work, sort of clanging of tiny little anvil and metal. It's, at this point, you hear like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and like a big explosion and the sound of rock falling, and then the sound of almost like swing bong, and you walk into their workshop and you see down one of the main hallways they have blown out an entire wall, and you see that they have like a very steep ramp going down. They seem to have found from the other side a passage, an old like minecart passage that they are tapping into, and they are working on actually laying like new minecart tracks so that they can bring raw materials from those deepest parts of the mines that you guys sort of opened back up to them, so that those items can be brought up straight to the workshop. And they seem to be sort of engineering some kind of way to get the carts both down the hill safely, but also up the hill carrying heavy raw material. And they're all very excitedly working, and you can see they're using explosives to make the train the sort of mine shaft wider, as well as sort of drilling new mine shafts in different directions to go to different workshops or different places around Barak Forge. And so it's a cacophony of noise in this space, especially with it reverberating all the way down the hall into the rest of Barak Forge inside this volcano mountain. But yeah, they greet you. A few of them recognize you. And they, big goggles, all like covered in soot. You can see there's just like one of them just has like big red spiraled hair sticking up onto like sort of planes going away from his head. And he's like covered in black soot, but all the way up until almost like the last 2 inches of his hair is totally covered in soot. And then it's just bright orange ginger hair at very ends. It almost looks like he's just like on fire at the end. But he's really just sort of soot covered, except where it doesn't stick to the ends of his hair. And he lifts his goggles up and puts them on his head.
Well, hello, how goes the excavation?
We have made great progress in the short time since you've opened up the lower levels of the mines and the workshops down there, and we have found some very interesting plans, and we've had to very carefully preserve all of these old documents and these old blueprints and things for a different sort of type of we think perhaps a weapon or a tool of some kind, but our best minds are working on it, and we're very excited to delve into some of this, not just the physical mountain, but the knowledge that it's been keeping down there safe for all this time. See what we can learn from our predecessors.
Well, I'm sure there's bound to be some new types of minerals or rocks or metals that you all will be able to forge into something truly spectacular.
We can only hope so. It's just going to make the world a richer and better place for what you have done for us. We plan to share the knowledge, and if Thorgun is amenable to it, we think Urbessa may be pushing him to open up the borders of Morn itself a bit more to the public. But there is much politically that must be discussed there, so that we know we're not creating war, rather creating progress.
Well, speaking of making the world a better place, I was just doing some thinking about how I could better equip my order, the Protectorate of Oasis. And as I'm sure you know, we are truly defenders of the people, and I couldn't help but think about all the fine work that you and your collective did on this revolver here, and I was wondering if, Barak Forge would be open to, procuring weapons and designing weaponry for my order.
I think I have heard of the Protectorate, and I remember my grandfather working on some contracts with the Protectorate long ago, almost at the dawn of the Protectorate. I'll have to go and dig up and see what the old deals were, and if you're asking, I have reason to trust you yourself, but is this something, as I've just said, we are looking to create progress rather than aggression? If the Protectorate is someone who you can vouch for as being protectors indeed still to this day, then I don't see why not, but that would be something to go through Urbessa.
Yes, well, I'm sure that we'll be able to maybe come to some type of agreement, of course. I was just wondering, I'm sure a lot of my fellow members of the Protectorate would not mind having to do battle from afar, especially with all the types of monstrous creatures that we come up against. And, with a weapon such as this, they'll be able to keep themselves safe as well as maintain the safety of Dion.
Certainly, I love the idea of the challenge of meeting arcane monsters with arcane weapons. And the more lives we can save, the better. So I could vouch for you to Urbessa if you would like me to bring it up to her in our next guild meeting.
I would greatly appreciate that. And of course, I think it would be best if you used me as an intermediary between, the fine tinkerers of Barak Forge and the Protectorate.
Oh, that is easily arranged. You are now our main contact in the Protectorate, so I believe that is the appropriate way to go about this.
Oh,
Again, I will be sure to bring it up to Urbessa, and I will let you know as soon as we have our next guild meeting and see if you can come in, particularly for a meeting to hammer out the details.
Yes, that would be greatly appreciated. And I won't take up much more of your time, but I was curious about what sort of blueprints you had found down there. You mentioned a weapon of some type?
We think perhaps a weapon. It seems to use magic to create less of a... He, like, takes your revolver out of the holster real quick, faster than you can really react, and he says, your revolver, it is a focused, fast point. One very specific point of contact, and that is what does damage. What we think we're looking at is perhaps something that creates a wall of force of some kind, and it doesn't appear to be shield-like. It seems to be a wall of force that is able to move, but we're still trying to figure out the details and what it was used for. It's one thing to see the blueprints of an item, and it's another thing to figure out what it does. So we're hoping to find some sort of journal or actual progress reports about what was being built and for what purpose. We could find reason to use anything, but we are all very curious about. Nothing is made without needing it in this life. What was the need? That's what we want to know.
Yes,
and then we can decide how we want to use it.
Very true. Well, I'm sure with all of your fantastic minds at the helm here, you guys will be able to create that without any issue. And if you need a pair of field hands to test it out, well, I'd be more than willing to offer my services.
We will be taking you up on that, because it appears to be something that was more akin to the giant folks' actual usage. It seems to be a large item, so a humanoid or a dragon or a giant folk would be able to handle it quite a bit better than even a stacked group of gnomes. So yes, we will be calling you and your friends in as soon as we're ready to start the testing process.
Perfect. Well, there's plenty of work to be done, so I will let you get back to it. I thank you very much for your time.
He says, wait a second, and he runs over, starts digging in a drawer. Everything in here is covered in soot and stuff, so he's just like, and this big old cloud of black dirt fluffs up out of this drawer, and he blows on it, and he pulls out another like a little silver case, and brings it over to you, and he shows you it's got six more hollow tipped bullets in it. He says, I just had time to make these up, so in case you haven't had time to get any procured yet, just in case you have any use for these, I had them made up when you first left, and wanted to give them to you next I saw you.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Do you have anyone that's available right now to maybe help fill them up? And I'll just kind of like bring out that little glass filling like apparatus that they had crafted for me.
Oh, sure, yes. Crane Rose, and a very young looking, like she comes out covered in soot like the rest of them. But I want you to roll a insight, nature, or perception check for me.
All right, nature, insight,
or you can do or nature, insight, or intelligence. Just a straight intelligence would be fine.
I'm gonna go with perception, and that's gonna be 12.
12. Okay. Everybody down here is covered in soot. She's wearing like a mining helmet, and again, big goggles. She's wearing almost like a respirator, and she's got like this like very straight, slick black hair, and you can kind of see the tips of what look like pointed ears. She's the size of the other gnomes. She's wearing like a big like leather apron, wide trousers, so it's hard to tell her like body shape or type. But you see little pointed ears, almost like they've been smushed down by the helmet, and so the very points of the ears just kind of stick out at the bottom, sort of like buried in this like very slick, straight black hair that hangs down to her butt. So while she seems to be gnome-ish, she doesn't like look much like a gnome. He says, Crane Rose, could you please, if you would, do you have something to fill these with, Mr. Keith?
I do indeed. And I'll just pull out, I got 4 more vials of purple worm poison.
Okay, cool. She can probably fill them up with just like 2 of those. She can stretch it a little bit. Especially, are you going to tell them that that's what they're filling it with, or are you just going to give them the vials?
Well, no, I'll tell them. They've been open and honest with me. I'll be open and honest with them. It's a weapon, so that's kind of its intended purpose.
She says, I could use all 4 of these and stretch it between all 6 hollow tip bullets. That's the little, the woman talking. But if you would allow me to do a little bit of alchemy, you could stretch 2 of your vials of worm toxin and make it something that lasts a bit longer. does a little bit less damage up front, but keeps them down for a bit longer if that's something you're interested in.
Well, unfortunately, I don't know our timeline exactly, so I think it's best if we just...
It'll take me 5 minutes. I have everything I need here in the lab.
Well, certainly, maybe we can do that with this poison here, and maybe you can just walk me through what you're doing as you're doing it.
Okay, you want to do a little alchemy check here, kind of thing, to see if you can learn what she's doing?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, do an investigation or a medicine or an arcana check.
I am proficient in alchemist supplies, if that does anything.
Add your proficiency for sure.
All right. And then, sorry, which
You can
checks to do?
What did I just say? Medicine. I just said 3. Medicine, investigation, or arcana.
I'll do investigation. That's going to be 2 plus 3, 11 plus 4, 15.
15, okay. Okay, so she's kind of explaining very quickly. She's got this like kind of gravelly voice. You can't tell if it's because she's been breathing mine air a little bit too much these last few days, or if that's just how she speaks, but she seems quite comfortable speaking to you. And she's wearing big leather gloves, so you can't even like see like her hands. But she shows you, she has a couple vials of, looks like she says like, this is from the black striped cobra, and it seems to be like snake venom. And she says like, she explains this will help sort of slow down the absorption of the purple worm poison, that it's not lethal or dangerous if you just drink this snake venom, but it is if it can directly enter the bloodstream. So even getting it close enough to like, for instance, if we wanted to break one of these, it's like under someone's nose and they breathed in the fumes, it's almost like powdery at the bottom, so it's not just a full liquid. Or you could just shoot them with it and it'll enter the bloodstream by being shot into the skin. So she explains that she's going to kind of stretch it with that. And it has like a mild paralytic, so it'll like slow down all of their functions so that the worm poison takes longer for them to metabolize it out of their system altogether. So it'll do more damage over a longer time than just the one shot of worm poison would do by itself. And you can learn how to do this. And you have the option, she'll give you the option of buying some more of that snake venom if you want it just for your own alchemical purposes.
Just kind of like the poison on its own?
Yeah, just the snake venom on its own. Yeah, she's done it with your bullets. You've seen how she did that. It was really just a pretty simple ratio, and making sure that you're not like shaking up the venom too much. Like there's a couple little mechanical things you want to do to make sure that you can actually mix that with the worm toxin, but she teaches you that. You can learn how to do that. But she'll sell you just the snake venom if you would like. She has like a couple bottles of it.
Oh yeah, that sounds useful.
And she explains you can use it as is, mix it in with some kind of like, it's not something that you can like spike someone's drink with, for instance. But if you can find a way to get it into the bloodstream, or you can fully, like you can almost, it's not distill, that's not the word I'm looking for. You can separate like sort of the like, almost like you can make it a powder that can become like an inhalant.
Gotcha.
And it by itself is a lighter poison. Like it doesn't do a ton of damage, but it is like a pretty strong paralytic.
Okay, perfect. That sounds pretty cool.
Okay, do you want to buy a couple bottles of that? Like, she's
yeah.
got like 5 bottles that are like jugs, small jugs. So you would have quite a bit of it. So you can buy, she'll sell them to you for like 10 gold a piece. It's not easy to come by because you don't get a ton of snake venom without literally making the snake bite and extract venom. And this is like her lifetime supply, but she's happy to sell it to you for the right purpose and the right price.
So like one of these jugs per se, like how much could I get out of it?
One of these drugs would go a long way. Like if you were to use it just to put like in your bullets, that's like almost like you could fire that weapon every day for like a year and not run out of one jug. If you were to reduce it down to like the powdered substance, it would go less far. It'd be like maybe 5 uses over time of like blowing powder in someone's face or finding some way to expose them to it.
Would it have to be one or the other, or could I like use a little bit of it to make the powder and then still have
Sure.
some leftover liquid. And one
Yeah,
jug
yeah,
it
for
is. One jug.
1 jug. Okay, 10 gold.
Perfect.
You can add 1 jug of cobra venom to your inventory.
I should clearly label that one.
Fill it with my coffee in the morning.
Wakes you right up.
Great.
Kind of this like milky white substance, but you can see it almost like the powders in it, or like the proteins in it, almost like settle at the bottom. It's sort of like coagulated in a way into a powder at the bottom.
All right, perfect.
Okay. Yeah, so you've got your 6 sort of modified purple worm poison bullets. You can add those to your inventory as well.
Perfect.
Okay, while Killian's up to all of that business, where are Ado, Serafina?
I
How are
think
your mornings going?
Ados is gonna fill out the rest of his teleportation selection, his repertoire or what have you.
Mhm.
Gonna go to the teleportation circle room. He's got 2 more circles to memorize. He's spent spent the night thinking about it. So right now he can teleport here, Barak Forge. And he picked up Nerd Stand yesterday for Serafina, and just because, we probably will head there a lot. He's also going to pick up Tzankin for, our associates in Tzankin, and because Killian's sister's there, and we'll probably need to run to her. And I think he kind of waffles on the last one a bit. Not really sure where Bulu lives, and not sure that she would want to go there anyway. And knowing that probably can't teleport into Sanctuary, so he's got 1 little teleportation circle token to spend at this arcade, and I think he spends a lot of time standing in front of the one to his hometown in the Orin Empire, and just staring down at the circle, which he's pretty familiar with, having grown around, rooms like these in the capital under the Orin Empire. And I think he kind of gets the courage to dive into the deep end and just commits the circle to Thariashali, I think is how you say it.
Yeah.
Commit that to memory. That's his hometown where his family lived. And I think once he memorizes it, he just kind of quickly walks away before somebody sees him looking at that particular one.
Okay, very cool. Alrighty, Serafina, how's your morning going?
Serafina will lazily spend her morning in bed after her spa day, cuddling with Glairbell. I think she'll kind of slowly get up and take a look in the mirror. And for the first time after her scrubbing and peeling and exfoliating at the spa and steaming, she kind of sees the shine in her scales, and she starts to appreciate maybe they're not so bad after all. And so I imagine she will kind of go through her wardrobe and try on a few of her dresses and see how they look with her new complexion.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, you start putting on all these different colors. You want to find out your new color season. That's very important, I think, to her. Yeah. You find your pinks. They don't wash you out. They bring out a little bit more of those like warmer tones in your scales, but your scales are a little bit iridescent. You try on some of your green dresses, your blue ones. You try on you have one neutral, I think, just like brown, like very like pretty chocolatey brown. And it doesn't do much for you. It's not popping the way you would want. And then you try on like a black gown, probably the gown you wore to a certain funeral recently. And your scales just kind of like shine against it. Like all this sort of different colors are showing. Your eyes glow a little bit brighter, and you look like a starry night sky. You look almost like, in our terms, the Milky Way. You look like the stars of the galaxy in the sort of nebulous clouds in the darkest part of night. And moonlight in your scales sort of glows, and it's just, you pop a little bit in that midnight black. And I roll a performance check to see how much you're feeling yourself. You're performing for yourself in this moment.
13.
13, okay, yeah. I mean, you know you look good, but you've always known you looked good.
Yeah, so I think Serafina admires herself, but also I think as she's wearing the dress and twirling around and kind of like looking herself, checking herself out, I think she remembers that the last time she was at a funeral was actually Zara's funeral.
Yeah.
So I think a little pang of sadness fills her heart, even though she's looking pretty stunning.
Okay. And I think by this time, Marroway and Benji are probably heading back up with plates of breakfast. Benji carrying a plate for himself and a bigger platter for Bula, full of all of the offerings. And you probably hear you're probably the only one kind of left in your room. It sounds like everybody else is sort of out and about, but I think you can hear their footsteps going by and the quiet sort of talk as they. Do you want to eavesdrop? You can hear Marway's voice and Benji's voice as they're like walking down the hallway.
Do I want to eavesdrop?
No, does
Oh.
well, you can too, but I thought Bula was still asleep. I was asking Serafina, but you both could if you
Okay.
think Bula would wake up.
It depends on how
I think you could probably smell
strong
the food
smelling
coming.
the food is.
Yeah, I think you could probably. It's like spicy sausage and like a potato hash, and you think you smell white gravy.
Oh, she's definitely awake then. There's drool on the pillow.
Okay, would
She
either of you
starts
like
drooling before she's even fully awake.
would either of you like to eavesdrop on Marroway and Benji's sort of not hushed, but respectfully quiet conversation as they walk back toward the room Bula's sleeping in, but also past Serafina's doorway?
Oh yeah, Serafina's checking herself out and her ears kind of perk up as she hears them walking by and she rushes over.
And puts her ear to the crack in the door. Bula? No?
I think Bula's listening just to make sure that they're coming her way with that sausage.
Okay. Okay, yeah, you can hear their footsteps are coming closer. Their voices getting a little bit louder, but you're like groggy with sleep. You don't really care what's being said. You know they're coming to bring you breakfast. Serafina, you put your ear up to the door. Marroway, I think Benji has been telling you a little bit more about the dream spell that he used on you last night, trying to make sure you really feel comfortable with that whole process. So I think on the way down, his first sort of inclination was to ask you how it was. How are you feeling? You've had that conversation already. At this point, he is explaining, I have the option to sort of interact with you in that dream state. I can be there if that's something that's comfortable for you, but I wasn't going to do that on the first night, obviously, without your permission. Consent is, I think, going to be key to this whole process. But, no pressure. Just wanted to throw it out there. If you ever wanted company in your dreams, well, I can be pretty good.
Marroway is so blushed right now, like all the way down his chest. He's like carrying the little tray of food. I think that would be really nice, actually. If you don't mind, of course. I mean, you're already doing so much work to keep the dream going, and then having to entertain me or whatever. I don't know. I don't want it to be like...
Marroway. Let me interrupt you. It's not work. I enjoyed doing it. I just have to make sure I'm getting enough sleep so that I'm still useful to you when you need me. It's not difficult what I'm doing for you, so I don't want you to feel too much gratitude about it. I'm doing what any good friend would do, what any good person would do. Yeah, I'm your friend, right? We're friends.
I would say so, yes.
And he sort of like hesitates, like he opens his mouth to say something and then changes his mind. And he says, all right, well, yeah, then I have a couple of cool dream ideas. I'll make sure I use those in the next couple nights and we can have some fun together.
Okay, that sounds nice.
And Serafina, you hear their voices as they sort of pass your door and get a little further away, and you've heard this little snippet of conversation as Bula, the bedroom door that you're in, opens. And you see Marroway and Benji. Roll a perception check for me real fast, Bula. As you roll over toward the smell of that food.
Dang it. Sorry. I forgot I was in the middle of
You're totally good.
leveling up. Here we go.
know Marroway is beet red. Your first thing is like, oh, who let this boy go out without his sun hat? And then you realize it is blotchy on his neck. Like you can see that it's just like a hot blush and not a sunburn. You can see where it kind of stops at his chest. and they walk in like Benji's looking pretty cool as a cucumber, but they both look a little bit like with that 18. I think you can tell like what were they just talking about? But there's plates of food in there.
Yeah, she reaches for the food and she starts to shove it in her mouth and she looks at Marrow and she goes, "So, what was your breakfast?" And she's just,
Well, it was quite delicious. We ate the food and we talked a little bit. Did you know that they have places here where it's just like a natural water but hot?
yeah, like a hot stream. Those are awesome. Wait a second.
I think I might try to go to that. We should talk later. There's something I need to talk to you about.
Of course, anytime. Of course, I also don't want to interrupt anything.
Benji says,
No,
I gotta hit the hay, so why don't you guys take your plates and head on out to that courtyard we passed Marroway. Get a little fresh air now that you've had a little bit of rest, and I'll go to sleep. That way you guys can talk.
Okay, I think Marroway's gonna pick up Sir Lavender and like hold it up to Benji. You interfered in their work. You might need him more than I do right now.
Benji says, I am happy to have the company, and he kind of like lays in the bed, puts his arm behind him, puts Sir Lavender's like head on his bicep. He sort of like snuggles in for the morning, and he says, Bula, would you mind closing those curtains on your way? I'm gonna try and get some shut-eye, but you guys let me know as soon as you need me for anything, alright?
We can do that.
He sort of snuggles in with Lav. You guys are welcome to head out. Okay. I think at this point, you'd all kind of be converging around the same place, assuming, Killian, are you going anywhere besides sort of back to your rooms, back to your friends? Eidos, anywhere you would go after the teleportation circle? Seraphina, you could emerge from your room if you want to, if you so chose.
Killian probably just head back.
I'd also make a cup of tea for Seraphina and him. And join her for tea time while waiting for everybody else to get to where they're going.
Perfect. Yeah, and I think you all pretty much essentially reconvene in sort of the hallway that houses all of your bedrooms here at Barak Forge, and Seraphina can emerge from her room fresh as a daisy, looking fine. Seraphina, are you still wearing your black dress, or did you change?
I will wear my black dress. Looking
Okay.
fabulous.
Looking
Seraph-
fabulous.
Yeah, Seraphina's gonna come out strutting with Glitterbell, and when she sees Eidos, she will look at him expectantly, waiting for a compliment.
For sure. And I think that Ado, seeing how much more comfortable she is in her new skin, will, pause and genuinely, say, "Oh, you're looking a lot better these days. That color is wonderful on you."
Obviously. I think I look better
Obviously.
in black than you do.
Well, this is slate gray. Anyway, do you want some tea? We'll talk fashion.
Seraphina will take the cup.
Okay. Yeah, Marroway, Bula, Killian, you all sort of see these two sharing a cup of tea and exchanging what sounds like a friendly debate about the different shades of gray and whether cool gray is gray or blue. A real debate I had with someone recently. And yeah, you guys know that this morning you should have some kind of report when you're ready to check in with Thorgun Giantsbane. That is not his last name, Thorgun. If you guys want to check and see how the sort of siege at Nerdistan and Ozoled were going, you have that to check in on. You can choose where your next step in your adventure is. How would you guys like to proceed?
Yeah, I think yesterday someone had gone to check what was happening in Nerdistan, so I think Seraphina
Mhm.
might inquire about that.
Yeah. So you'd want to go check with Thorgan because he was going to kind of send out messages and see what the news is. So you guys could head to his Great Hall if you'd like to, his Giant's Hall. Okay. Do you all head that way with them? Everybody together?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Beautiful. Yeah, you head toward Thorgan's Great Hall, looking as gleaming bright as ever in shades of copper and gold and earth brown and obsidian slate black, gray, however you'd like to argue that, Seraphina Nados. And you can see him at where his usual spot is, sort of in this like massive, easy high-backed chair. Irbessa is not in the room at this particular moment, the gnome who also leads the city with him. But Thorgan is there breaking his fast. And sort of, it seems to be like reading over reports. He's got like a tiny little round, I say tiny, like for him, tiny pair of round spectacles on, like at the tip of his nose, like reading glasses. And he has like a big old corncob pipe in his mouth that he's smoking. And he has like a hot cup of coffee next to him and what looks like a plate of finished food as he's sort of reading some reports. And he sees you all come in. The heroes. Come, sit, and we can discuss what the news is from the Middle Continent. You're all welcome to come in and sit. He asks, would you all like a round of drinks, breakfast, coffee, tea, anything I can get for you?
Yes, that would be wonderful. I'll take coffee. Black. No, look at Seraphina.
He says, I think I just missed an inside joke, but yes, fair enough. And you can see another giant, like a giant steward over in the corner sort of nods and ducks out of the room quietly to go get some coffee, human-sized coffees. But really it comes in like little espresso cups because they have giant-sized cups and gnome-sized cups. So you were drinking out of gnome-sized coffee cups that are the size of an espresso cup. But he does bring you a giant-sized pot of coffee that you can refill with. So reports from Nerdistan seem quite optimistic. It seems they've managed to stage a good enough barricade. Things were looking a little rough yesterday, but with the news spreading that you had successfully defended the lake, it seemed it quite literally took the wind out of their sails, and they turned retreat quite soon after. In Ozoled, it seems much the same has happened, though they had managed to hold their ground a bit more steadily, so there wasn't as much progress made up the river as in Nerdistan, but it seems that minimal damage has occurred, minimal loss of life, comparatively. And for now, all seems quiet. On both fronts. So that is the good news. Miss Blackthorn, I have asked personally after your family to see how your mother and father fare, and they seem to have come out the other side unharmed.
That's a relief, thank you.
Yes, it likely would have ended up very differently had it taken you longer at the lake, but for now, this threat seems to be back across the horizon for a time. So, is there anything else we can help you with as you move?
Do we have any idea where they go when they're not assaulting cities?
That is a question. We had some scouts try and follow them in smaller craft from Ozoled specifically. It did seem from both cities they headed south out into the open ocean. From there, they lost them as they turned east.
Interesting.
It seems their hold over the lesser aquatic beasts and monsters has not dwindled, so it can be a bit of time before we're able to track them down again, as they have to sort of fight their way across open ocean at this point to try and track them down. But that is something we will keep on, and Ozoled specifically has sent their best naval ships now to try and follow the trail and see if we can find a place where this can all come to a head. Take the fight to them for once, perhaps.
I hope they're successful. Was there much damage to Nerdistan and Ozoled?
There was some damage when the barricade at sea fell. They made it a small ways upriver into the city itself, though they didn't make it past the far city gates inland, which is a good thing, but there was some damage done to the riverside city along the way. Namely, Luminara Collegium had some buildings damage, and I believe a small loss of life of students who chose to stay and enlist for the fight, while many others, most of the others, took shelter and evacuated the city in time.
Senseless.
Couldn't agree more. But all being said, it would have been much worse had we not moved quickly as we did. So they have you to thank for not losing the entirety of the city itself.
We thank you for your help with this. I mean, it may behoove us all to stop these forces, but we wouldn't. It would have been much more difficult without you. So, we thank you.
Urbessa has been working on convincing me that it's been too long since the Nation of Morn reacquainted ourselves with our nearest neighbors and friends. While we have good trade relationships, not everything can be about business. I can't say I am a trusting enough person to just give away all of our most dangerous works of craft, but if people like you are out there, and if we can ensure that power won't dominate too far outside of each other's borders, then perhaps there is something to be said for using the alliances we already have standing in a way that protects those who need it.
We grow stronger together, certainly. And I'm sure Seraphina can speak more on this than I can. I'm sure that the bond between you and Luminara and Azulet, I'm sure, will benefit you as well. As I said, we go stronger together.
You are not wrong. We thought we had some of the greatest minds on the Middle Continent, perhaps in all of Dion here in our city. But it seems it's been too long since we compared ourselves to anybody outside of our own walls, so there is something we can learn, it seems. More to learn always.
And us from you.
I'll keep this in mind as Urbessa needles me about opening the borders just a bit more. So, what else can we do for you all? Where is your next destination?
Don't think we've spoken of it yet. We are currently waiting for our ship here, right? Are they?
I believe that's the last direction you gave them, yeah. So they should be, like, basically on their way around the continent to get to you. They would be essentially off the west coast of the Middle Continent at this point, so a couple days away. Not even.
Did we name our ship?
I don't believe you have yet.
Oh.
I think that was something I brought up that you guys should be thinking about, but yeah, it has no name. It was in the midst of being repaired when you guys had them launch to come meet you to try and fight this threat at Ozaled.
Yeah.
Yeah, your ship is, as of now, unchristened, unnamed.
Okay.
But you've got a very hot dragon captain on there.
That's what I was about to say. You know what our ship does have.
I mean, play your cards right. We could christen it.
A delicious captain.
Things are gonna get wet on this ship. I mean, because of the ocean, guys. Come on.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Birds.
Got it.
This is rated PG-13, everybody.
Oh my god, what is his name?
Varmox the Unsevered the Third.
Varmox the Severed.
Varmox.
The third.
The third.
Please, use my full government name.
Okay, so we have a few days before Varmox and the ship gets back here. I mean, Eidos turns to the circle. So what do we do in the meantime?
If we don't have any direction, I would like a couple days to regain my mind. I've not been sleeping as well as I might have been telling all of you I had been.
rest is certainly your highest priority, Marroway. I would hope that you would.
As he sits there with like raccoon eyes.
Yeah.
we,
But not
we couldn't
actively
tell.
slouching in his chair anymore, which is a slight step up.
Were you able to get some rest last night, Marroway?
I was. In fact, there is something that I wish to talk to you all about when it's just us.
Well,
Okay.
don't let me keep you. Why don't you all go and make your plans? And if you have any need of me, please come and let me know. Rebecca should be down in the Latchkey workshops helping excavate the final levels of the mines. But you can find her there or come to me and I can summon her if you need.
Thank you, Thogan.
If you need use of it, we have several sort of unused offices for clerical work and money business. Money business.
Money business.
Money
The old money business.
It's money
What?
The
business.
finance guys.
Is clerical work.
Would you like to speak now, Marroway, or do you want more time to collect your thoughts?
I would like a little bit more time if you do not mind.
Certainly. You let us know when you're ready.
Well, you have the use of Barak Forge. Please let anybody know that. And he very quickly hands you over sort of a rite of passage, essentially a small written document with his seal and signature, just proclaiming you guys as his guests, with essentially free range of Barak Forge in and out of the city.
Much obliged.
You know where to find me if you need me. He puts his little tiny spectacles back on and goes back to reading his reports.
Yeah. Ados will stand up and take his leave.
Yeah. So, Ados, what have you been doing in the city here?
Well, I thought since I spent so long in the deprivation chamber, the time chamber, I don't know what it's called, learning how to memorize teleportation circles, that I should fill that out. So I've got a few. And one I picked with you in mind. Learn Tuzankin's circle. I know that was where we saw your sister last. It's also, we have business there. But yes, Tuzankin, Nervustan, Barak Forge.
Just those three? Thus far?
No, there's a fourth. The Orient Empire.
Oh,
My old hometown. I am assuming that at some point that's where our travels will take us next. I figured my old stomping grounds might be a good place to get our in.
Seraphina's
Take-
eyebrows are like very high as she's like sipping her coffee.
Fully brought the espresso cup in a little saucer out of there.
I was thinking about something you said a few days, weeks past, Killian, about purpose. And how you didn't believe that I didn't have a purpose in mind. It stuck with me. I think maybe it's time that I face my responsibilities. Or at least find a purpose rather than floating from town to town. And plus, we gotta get this. We gotta get these stand relics.
mhm.
I'm sick of thinking about them. Sick of talking about them. It's all anybody can talk about in this place. So yeah, might as well get a head start, I suppose. But yes, those 4 circles.
Well, whenever you are ready to face whatever you have to face back home, you'll have my assistance if you so choose it.
Yeah. I'll clasp him on the shoulder. Thank you, Killian. I can always rely on you. I know.
But if we have some time. Marroway, you said you wanted a few more days to rest.
I don't know if that long will be necessary, but before I talk to the group, I need to speak with Lady Serafina. Just the two of us.
Oh, you want to do that right now? Should we leave?
I think he means go.
Well, how about you
Leave.
you two take one of the money business rooms, and we'll go back to our rooms.
Bula, maybe we can go get something to eat.
I mean, I just finished breakfast, which means it's time for my next breakfast. So
Second breakfast.
as long as Marroway's okay, good. All
He
right.
gives you a nod, but I think Bula especially can tell that he is extremely nervous right now.
Yeah. She just kind of reaches over and kind of squeezes his shoulder. She says, "I'm within shouting distance if you need me." And she follows Killian to find food.
All right. Serafina, Marroway, you guys are left sort of walking, just sort of, I think, meandering along Thorgan's like giant halls. You end up at a place where there's this like very long sort of open covered bridge almost that like stretches out, goes out of the mountain around the mountainside, sort of a long curved covered bridge with these big arches of stone just sort of looking out across this sort of volcanic plain, mountain range, this beautiful middle continent highlands area. Down from the mountain above you, and it's windy, it's chilly, but it's a pleasant sunny morning.
I need to apologize and beg for your forgiveness.
Oh, for what? Is it because you haven't noticed my dashing dress?
No, I noticed it. It's pertaining to the last time that you wore it. I was not strong enough to save Zareth, and I am so sorry. I know what it feels like to lose people that you love. And I'm sorry I couldn't keep you from that pain.
Serafina takes a moment to take in what Marroway says, and she kind of reaches out to put her hand on his. There's nothing to apologize for, Marroway. Zareth knew exactly the risks, and so did I. And we did everything we could in that time. And there's always going to be times when we do everything right and we still lose.
You're right, but if I were stronger, if I were anything like my mother, I could have stopped it. I just needed to say I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize. I know you've been fighting so much and doing everything that you can for us and those that you love. And there's nothing more that we can ask for.
I have something for you, but you don't have to take it if you don't want to. He's gonna reach in his bag and pull out a black bishop chess piece that matches Ados's.
Yeah, Serafina reaches out and takes it in her hand and examines it and smiles, and she goes in to hug Marroway. Thank you.
I do not know if you will thank me for it once I tell you what it's for, but we will get to that with the group, I think.
Serafina slips it into the pocket of her dress, because her dresses have those.
Every dress Serafina has so many pockets. So many deep pockets. No phone is gonna fall out of the back of this thing.
And she walks with Marroway back into the forge.
Yeah. And you guys can reconvene with all of your friends and allies, most of whom have gathered up second breakfast. Sorry, one of whom has gathered up second breakfast, and the rest of whom are finishing their normal amount of coffee or tea. You guys see Marroway and Seraphina walk in arm in arm.
Killian will just look over to Ados and just say, so this teleportation circle, we would get there to Zankin right away? Is that how this thing works?
Yeah, presumably. Just like the teleportation circle we took to
Dr. Horgan.
Dr. Horden. Such a strange name I had to remember.
There's way too many weird names. The next one, everything is going to be called Greentown, Purpletown.
Thank you.
That's our next campaign.
Tower Town.
It's going to be the town with those big rocks. And that's the town name.
Love it.
Sexy City.
Gotta go there.
We gotta go there.
Got 2 tickets. Yeah, the one we took to Dr. Horden. I've never done it this way with the spell, but presumably it would work the same way.
Ooh.
I hope it does, because it's already unpleasant enough.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Well, truth be told, I had been meaning to write a letter to my sister back into Zankin, but if we are able to go there physically, well, I think that will save me quite a little bit of postage.
Quite so. And in shorter time than it takes for you to write a letter, though you do write so beautifully. Would you like to go there now, or
Well,
we have the rest of the day?
well, I see, and I see Seraphina and Marroway come back into the room, and I just say to Ados, well, let's see what Marroway has to say if he's comfortable saying it right now, but we'll kind of decide after that. See what everyone else in the group is planning on for the rest of the day.
A few days before Valmax shows up to reclaim Bula, so yeah, plenty of time.
That sex scene is going to be called The Claiming.
Oh my.
Talk about 2 tickets to Sexy City.
That's going to be our next book on very secret.
Very specific fantasy.
Very specific
Very
fantasy.
specific.
Very.
Oh,
I like
yeah.
that book.
It's going to be a good one.
A specific Bula fantasy. right
I
there.
will be writing
God.
fan fiction.
So seeing Marroway and Seraphina come back, you'll say, hello, hey you two, care for anything to eat, drink?
No, thank you.
There'll already be like a coffee ready for Seraphina.
Seraphina will just take it.
Yeah, I think it's got like latte art in it.
Ooh.
I worked really hard on that.
Yeah, she didn't want one, but she'll sip it so you don't feel bad.
Killian
Light
learned that
sips.
trick in one of his novels. Girls love this.
So Killian over on the side just like, yes.
What level of latte art is this? Is this like a beginner leaf, or is this?
Killian, tell me what you want to attempt, and then I'm going to make you roll for it. I love telling you what you did and then making you roll for it.
Killian believes he made a very wonderful, like little glitter bell in the coffee.
Oh,
It's complicated.
yeah.
Okay. That's
a
hard.
relief.
Roll for me a sleight of hand check.
16.
It's clearly Glitterbell. Yeah, for sure. There is for sure too much cream in the coffee because of how much cream it took to make that detail of latte art. It is more milk than coffee now, but it is Glitterbell. You can see it.
Yeah, as she goes to take a sip, she's very impressed.
Okay.
seeing everyone smiling and laughing, now would be a great time for some Marroway lore drop. to really
Yeah.
bring that mood
Let's
down for
bring the
everyone.
mood down, baby. Lighthearted moment, fuck it up.
Gone. No, on the for real though, I do think Marroway is going to set out 3 of his remaining chess pieces out on the table. There is a knight, a queen, and a broken castle. First of all, I should probably apologize to everyone for falling asleep at the battlefield. I think I might have pushed myself a bit too far.
Oh, we were worried about you, Marroway.
As you know, whenever I sleep, I have nightmares. I don't know if I've fully told you the extent of them, but I think it's time I told you about my home. I come from a place called Sanctuary, as you know, and my mother created it. We would rescue people from battlefields, save the innocents who would have been seen as collateral damage, and give them a new life. But in doing so, we let in the wrong people. There was a dryad. Her name was Akanitam. And she tricked us all. She slowly poisoned all of our people against us. She twisted my mother's mind, and when the time come, she took my home from me. Every night when I dream, I am back there, watching her do it over and over again. Because for her to take it, she has to have me. I was made partially from my mother in Archfey, and partially from the magic of Sanctuary, meaning that for her to hold full dominion, she has to have the last bit of it. And they've been hunting me with it, and they found me, I think. When I fell, it was them pulling me back into Sanctuary, and I saw someone very dear to me that is not who he should be. I've given every one of you a piece, and these represent something very deep in my home. It represents the royal court of Sanctuary. And it also represents the people that I tie my life to. I have not asked you for very many things on our travels. In fact, I have tried very hard to keep this from coming up. But I need to be selfish, and I need to take a couple of days to regain my strength. Because I need to go home. And I don't want to do it alone. Before you decide, I think you need to know what waits for you there. Because once we're there, there is no leaving. It will be a game that has a winner takes all stake. And if I die, I don't think that you will be able to find a way to escape again. And I need you to understand that before we go.
think at that, Ados will walk up and stand shoulder to shoulder with Marroway and put his hand on said shoulder. And he'll say, wherever you go, we go. We've seen what this dryad has been doing to you. And we won't let it do that to you. So, if this is what you need to make that stop, to get your home back and avenge your community and your family, then that's what we're going to do.
Killian will reach into his bag and pull out the Black Knight chess piece that you had given to him, and he just grips it and looks at it, and then he just kind of touches the headband given to him by his mother, and stands up and walks over to your other shoulder and kind of just places a hand on your shoulder, Marroway, and Killian will say, I know what it's like to lose someone you love. Let us be the ones to help you reclaim your home. We're here for you.
Serafina will walk forward and again take Marroway's hand in hers and look at him and say, you were there when Nerdstand was in trouble, as it is now, and we fought together, and we will fight together for your home as well.
At that, Bugla's gonna get up and just kind of smirking a little bit. She's like, well, good. I'm glad y'all are all on board with us. She doesn't even feel the need to tell Marroway that she's in. He's had her answer since day one.
When Bula stands, I think he's gonna look down at his remaining chess pieces and reach down and pick up the queen. The piece that represents the most powerful protector of the king. If I'm being honest, Bula, I never wanted to give you this. The thought of making you go to my home, it feels like a punishment that I would never want to put on someone like you. But you are my sister, and if you will accept it, and he's gonna reach the queen piece to you.
She reaches down and takes it, and I think she kind of looks at it for a minute. She says, well, I don't know all that much about chess, but I know that I'm always going to be here for you, and that doesn't seem like a punishment to me. And then she kind of gives the little chess piece just a quick kiss, and then she tucks it down in her safest area here, just down in her shirt, so that it's right there, kind of by her heart.
Well, if you're going to risk your life, then I should probably tell you what you'll be fighting. And then ask if you want to back out once you know what we are up against. I've told you about the Dryad. She is almost an archfey, so there's that. Won't be an easy fight. But she may also have a coven of hags. And a dragon riding knight. my friends.
One of your friends, you said?
She has taken one of my pieces that I had from before I knew you. And he's gonna pick up his castle that is broken. Sir Muldulzen was the closest thing to a father to me. He was my first protector, my first shield. We did a lot together. When I fell at the battle, I saw him, but he was different. She's done something to him. I do not know if he will still be an ally to me. All I can tell you is that we will be going into this game at a disadvantage. We are down 2 pieces. And if I am being honest, I do not know if we can win this. But even if it's by myself, I have to try. Because my people need me. They risk everything for me. And they deserve friends who will do the same for them.
Well, we are your people as well. And if they're yours, then they're ours too. We will fight for them. But who is this? He'll point, Eidos will point to the knight.
I do not know. I once thought I knew who it would belong to, but it would seem fate had different plans for us.
You don't have to use every piece in a game of chess. You can win it with a couple of well-placed moves.
Yes, well, in this game, the tricky part is going to be winning without losing any pieces. It is not a feat that happens often.
We'll be ready when the time comes.
What do you need to prepare yourself for this journey to Sanctuary, Marroway?
Time. And, when the time comes, I am hoping that perhaps we could call on a favor from Nerdistan. They have a lot of very powerful mages, and from what I understand of plane shifting, if you have a bit of the plane you're trying to get to, it makes it a little bit easier. And seeing as I am made partially from Sanctuary, they should be able to use me to get us there.
And Keelan will just look over to Eidos and Seraphina. Does anyone in Nerdistan come to mind?
If you guys as players don't know off the top of your head, I'll let you roll like a history or a... Let me see. History, insight, or even arcana to kind of rattle through your allies there.
Yeah, I think Seraphina will roll an arcana check to kind of see if maybe she had a professor she could recommend.
Yeah, certainly.
Or maybe one of her parents' friends.
Go for it.
Ooh, it's a dirty 20.
Oh, we love a dirty, filthy 20. Okay. Okay, a few people come to mind, some of whom you've all met, some of who Seraphina really has to roll back in her mental Rolodex to find in her memory. You know of Archmagus Pelavar Drenwin, who is like a human abjurer, and they are the head librarian at Luminara. Just as far as like knowledge of many, many, many things, including planes of existence, she might have some insight and be able to help make that plane shift happen smoothly. Or even just have some information more than a typical librarian would have about Sanctuary or the Fae realm itself. You all have met Rinrock, the Minotaur sorcerer, who you helped save his daughter, who was in I believe in the Triune Navy. Rinrock oversees, if you remember, the Arcane Lineage and Bloodlines offices. So he specifically has some specialty knowledge in like the origins of magic within certain family lines, and its sort of connections to all kinds of different lineages like Draconic, Fiendish, Celestial, or Fae. So he might be someone to go to. As far as people your parents might know outside of Luminara itself, you think probably your dad is he's a goofy guy. He could probably easily pull off a plane shift spell. He's sort of a master of all trades when it comes to arcane magics. Or you've got Professor Mellow Oak, the large like treant, who you've all met. He's the head of cultural studies, so again, sort of has a very global, and I say global as in like galaxy-wide knowledge of cultures. So he could also probably be of use to you guys.
Yeah, so I think Seraphina will turn to Marroway and say, yeah, I think I know a couple of professors who can help us, or I'll even ask my dad. He might be able to carry us through.
Okay. Only if you're sure.
Yeah, she squeezes his hand and says, I'm sure. As Clarabelle also nuzzles up against him.
Okay. So we are going to take a very quick 15-minute break. So we will be back here at about 5 till the hour, so 9:55, give or take. Come on back, watch us finish out this session of Dion Rising. Let's see where this gang goes next. And players, keep in mind, you have that level up in your back pocket. If you have time on break, you're welcome to start working on that. And think about where your specific next destination is, because when we come back tonight, we are gonna, I think, leave Barak Forge, if that's where you're all looking to go. So come back ready to tell me where we're going next. And we will see you all in about 15 minutes. Stick around. Welcome back, you freaky fae. Let's get into it. Okay. So, you guys have had some homework during break. It's late morning. You're all gathered up, finishing off second breakfast, and making some plans, learning a little bit about Marroway's background and sort of what his next part of his own personal mission will be and how it involves all of you. So, all that being said, you have a few days that Marroway needs to rest up. And you have teleportation circles galore to use. You have a couple things that you've mentioned wanting to go to. But where would you like to go first? How would you like to proceed?
Killian will address the group and just say, well, if we're going to let Marroway rest for a couple of days, I was wondering if everyone would be okay if maybe we took one of those teleportation circles to Zankin. I would like to see my sister, see if she's learned anything about my family. I mean, I've learned a sparse bit of information about them. I just want to see if she has any updates for me. And, well, seeing how we're going into quite the dangerous territory, I feel like I should prepare her and let her know in case we don't come back.
Certainly. Dad, you want us to all to go with you, or?
Well, I assume Eidos, you'll have to come. I assume. I don't know how your teleportation works.
Yes, let me look within.
And I'll probably need you to come back with me as well.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh, they also have. Okay, I didn't even think about this. We could just use the teleportation circles here. We're still next to the room where I learned these circles. But on the return trip, we could just take the same one. You know what? We're set.
Beautiful. Well, how
Easy
convenient.
peasy. Yes, we.
It's glorious to see your mind work.
It truly is a wonder. Yes. Luminara lost something the day I graduated. But yes, I'm ready to go whenever you are.
I guess I'll tag along too. I think I have someone to check in on.
Seraphina, no. Please do not bring him back into
I am so angry that I'm about to say that Marroway is staying so he can aggressively relax. I am so mad right now that I am missing this.
We do need the other night piece.
Oh my gosh, we do!
No, we don't.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
We just leveled up. We don't need him.
if this does not happen, I'm going to be so sad. You better bring me another night piece. What a full circle moment. This is crazy.
A night.
It's just like
It's more
elbows
like
Eidos and says, "Relax, champ."
More like a night piece of shit. Fine.
I'm so happy.
I've never been happier in my life.
Dang it! Unfortunately, if Marroway's staying, that means Bula's gonna stay. She's gonna make sure he
Cool.
gets his rest and nobody bothers him.
I mean, if you want to go, you can. I mean, Benji will be here. So.
Oh, need some alone time, dude.
I mean, I won't force my presence
red.
on you, but
I
both of y'all are pretty exhausted.
I just mean that I don't want you to miss out on fun times because you're sitting here babysitting me.
Nah, it's not babysitting.
Someone's gotta make Cool Card come.
Oh my
Whoa,
word.
Right?
What a specific way to say that.
Yeah, in a whisper almost too.
I'm not sorry.
No.
I said what I said.
Whoa.
Trying to keep this stream
Yeah, you
PG.
did.
Yeah, we're gonna get banned.
Guys, come on. I was being so innocent. I can't help it. You all have dirty minds.
All right. If we're gonna do this, let's get it over with.
Okay. So, Bula, you're standing. You see Ado, Seraphina, and Killian about to head out. You see Marroway sitting, finishing his little vegetarian kind of breakfast wrap with lots of veggies in it and mushrooms all sauteed up with some potatoes. You're at that moment, like a dog looking between its two parents who are getting a divorce. What do you do?
Right? I mean, I guess she kind of looks between Killian and Marroway and she says, where am I going to be most useful, I guess?
Killian will think to himself for just a second and just, well, isn't Varmox bringing the ship here? Barak Forge.
Yeah, as far as timing goes, just like above table, your ship will arrive in like a day and a half, like the day after next, essentially.
Here?
And
I
then,
thought it
yeah,
was
it'll
coming
arrive here.
to-
It was going to Oslo, but you guys rerouted it to Barak Forge to pick you up. And then it's only like less than a day's journey across the bay, really, just from here to Nerdistan. So if you were to wait for the ship, you guys could meet this team in Nerdistan in no time, just even on the ship without even having to teleport. So that's an option. Just wanted to lay that out there.
I mean, if somebody needs to be here to make sure that the ship arrives, well and intact, and if they need help loading it with supplies and stuff, I mean, I can haul quite a bit of stuff there. While I'm making sure that Marroway's all right.
Yeah, you would even maybe have time to help like finish the retrofitting of the ship that it was in the process of having done. And Barak Forge would be a hell of a place to do it with all of their technology.
Oh, so it's gonna be able to like fly across dimensions, have a full spa. What else do we have on
100%.
that list?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Well, look, we can cross
All
dimensions
the
on the
things
ship.
that we
We're good to go,
wanted.
people.
We will be
Every
turning
little
this
thing we
campaign
wanted.
into Space Jammer because you guys are going into astro space, astro field.
So as she thinks about it, she's like, Killian, unless you think you're gonna really run into some hard issues there, then I might. I gotta make sure that Benji's okay because he's gonna be pretty exhausted. Making sure that Marroway's okay. So there's things that I could be useful with here.
Of course, lots of responsibilities for you here. And, I mean, we are well received into Zankin, so I don't foresee any issues.
We are titled to Zinken.
Right. Be less like the fox coming into the hen house and more like the rooster coming home. So, I think you'll be all right.
Yeah. And you should wait for your rooster here.
I don't know what you're talking about. I was just going to help with the boat.
Well, you've always liked working with your hands, so you can stay here.
She just absolutely, at this point, is like mumbling to herself, like opening up her bag of holding and like looking for something so she doesn't have to look at you guys, so you can't see how like reddish green she's turning.
It's the fantasy equivalent of pulling out your phone just to look at it. Part in a social interaction.
Well, I think
But it's truly
got
just scrolling
something.
through the home screens. Okay. A DM's favorite thing to ever happen in any campaign. We are splitting the party. Let's do it. Okay. 3 of our heroes head out toward the teleportation circles, teleporting to Zankin, where this all started, guys. Truly coming full circle before the end. I love it. The rest of you staying here for Marroway to get some much needed sleep, for Benji to have some very fun, exciting dreams with him, and for Bula to wait for the ship only, to make sure the ship is fine. Just business. It's just work, guys. I'm just waiting to make sure the ship is okay. I'm here to help. Obvi. And the food here is great. I feel like Bula is still just kind of rattling off reasons she should stay as you guys are all like, okay, bye, it's fine.
She is.
Okay. The 3 of you leaving head down to the teleportation circles. I think you take a second to go to your rooms, gather up some of your belongings for the journey, and you are welcome to teleport out if you're ready. Just give me the 1-2 and we will zap you away.
Zap.
Let's go.
Teleportation circle
Yeah.
activates. You find yourselves right back in the city of Tuzankin. Let me figure out where in Tuzankin I'm going to drop that teleportation circle into.
It's right in the city square. Bam.
In a fountain. Okay. You guys are dropped in what looks to be like a sort of timber processing area in the sort of outskirts of the city of Lena Mirna. It would appear this teleportation circle is mainly used for sort of like merchants and traders to come and speak with one of the biggest exports of Tuzenkin here. Where you are the Knights of the Flower, I believe, is what you guys were titled when you last were here. But this is sort of a new building, a new sort of little conglomerate of buildings that seem to be like sort of a timber company of some kind where you land. Seems to be like mostly offices, but lots of different workspaces as well for large, almost like red oak trees being cut for different purposes. But you are just a short walk outside of the city. You're basically just outside the city walls of Tuzenkin. So, where would you like to head? Is there anywhere specific you guys have been before that you want to go? You want to make a beeline for? You've got, if you're here specifically for Killian's sister Genevieve, she is a chaplain with the Protectorate of Oasis, I believe. I cannot remember the name. Let me do a quick Control F to figure out the name of the actual
She was with
monastery.
She was with the Crimson Cloaks last time, which is like the Thieves Guild ish thing.
Yes, you're so right. Okay. Is that where you want to head? Down to the Crimson Cloaks sort of hideout?
Yes. I do want to go somewhere else, but I can do that after.
Okay. Then yeah, the three of you set off into the now somewhat familiar, but quite, different city, just because some time has passed since you were last here.
I'll summon Casimir, but Seraphina doesn't have to walk.
Ooh. Thank you. Seraphina will help Glitterbell on and then hop on herself.
Ados barely masks his jealousy.
Yeah, and we'll head towards the Crimson Cloaks, which I think is in like the garden area, if I recall. There's like the secret entrance.
Yes.
I want to say there's like an Earth Genasi or something.
Yeah, that's correct.
Look at that. Look at this
Yep. Yeah, I'm trying to find all these names in my tiny, tiny print. Yeah, so you go and you find I believe it was Valka, who was one of the Crimson Cloaks who you were kind of working with. She's there. You find the Earth Genasi. I cannot find his name in my notes here. But yeah, you see him and he recognizes you guys immediately. Oh, my friends! It has been too long! Oh my, and he clearly doesn't remember each of your individual names. It's kind of that awkward oh, you guys! Gives you all a big hug, almost dirty hug, because he's an Earth Genasi. But very strong rock biceps.
How you doing, Rocky? Good?
That's a good nickname. That's a great nickname. Cedar, is that his name? Okay, nice. Fine. Oh, I have it all in my sidebar. Okay. Yeah, you quickly remember, you have Compeer Valka, the half-orc sort of dagger operative for the Crimson Cloaks. She was sort of one of your main contacts. Cedar, the Earth Genasi, sort of key quartermaster for them, guarding the entrance in the viticultural garden entrance. All of whom you met back when you were trying to help take down Lord Heron, one of your very first actual adventures together. And he greets you kindly and immediately lets you into the entrance of the Crimson Cloaks Guild. And you're able to go and have a look around. You can find Valka in her office if you'd like to, just to specifically ask if Genevieve's around, or you can use whatever means you have at your disposal.
I think Killian would probably go over to Valka. You'd probably have the most information, just to let me know if she's there or not.
Yeah. You head over to Valka's sort of private-ish office. This is a very while she is, they call her the Compeer, but you remember this group, the Crimson Cloaks, being very non-hierarchical. They all work together pretty equally. She just happens to be someone who is a strong planner and sort of organizer for the group. she sees you all come in and greets you all warmly, not quite as warmly as Cedar, but is excited to see you all and shakes all three of your hands, gives Seraphina's hand a kiss.
Hello, Valka. How is everything in Tuzankin?
She says things have been roughly the same since you last saw us, only with one less terrible lord taking over part of the city. Otherwise, it's the same old same, people trying to get by, us trying to help them do so. The girl you sent our way, Hazel Lupton, the maid who came from Herons, she has been doing quite well. She actually is one of our most useful, I don't want to say spy because that seems a little bit evil, but she's a great collector of information. People just seem to look right past the maids of the city, so she's been actually an invaluable asset to us, so we have that to thank you for specifically. Otherwise, things are par for the course here.
Well,
How have your travels been? You all seem, and she kind of like gives you all a once over, and you're all quite physically changed. One of you more than the other two, but literally physically stronger for all three of you. Carrying quite a bit more weaponry and looking a bit more official than the last time you were here in Tuzankin. She says you all look a bit more road-worn, if that's a polite way of putting it, than last I saw you.
We
I
have
don't think you've just been on vacation.
we've had a fair share of experiences, to say the least, since we were last in Tuzankin. But we've come up stronger, and some of us more fetching than before. And I was just like, to Seraphina.
Fetching indeed, my lady. You have. I believe you mentioned you were a sorcerer. It seems you have really come into your own. Bit of transmutation, perhaps?
You could say that. Thank you for noticing.
It is quite becoming on you.
Seraphina feels a little shy because this will be the first time that someone has seen kind of a before and after outside of the group.
Absolutely. You can, if you would like to, you can roll an insight check to see if see what she's thinking about you. If Seraphina's feeling a little insecure, trying to get a gauge on how she's feeling.
Yeah, she's trying to tell. You know, she was taken aback by that comment, that looking worn. Not sure. Not sure she knows what that means.
Yeah, you kind of got a compliment sandwich there. An insult compliment.
Seraphina got a 15.
Okay. She's being genuine when she says you look very cool and good. Like, she likes the transformation. I think you get the feeling she thinks you look like a little bit tougher. Like, literally, you just look like a scrapper now a little bit more. Like you could handle a punch. She respects that.
Oh.
Yeah. You kind of get that vibe from her.
Okay.
And I think you, with that 15, I think you can also see the road worn comment was meant as sort of a compliment. You know, these are working class people, and soft hands aren't the sign of someone who has worked hard for their people or their city. So.
Okay.
Yeah. I think she was implying you guys don't look like you've been on expensive vacations this whole time. You look like you've been doing good work.
Yeah. Seraphina like puts her hand over Glitterbell's like cherry blossom manicure.
Yes. I do love a matching set. My nieces are twins, and I love when they wear the same clothes. I think it's the cutest thing. She shows a little bit of a softer side with that compliment. She says, well, I can't imagine you've come here for no reason. I know your time is precious. What can we do for you?
Yes, Valka, I was actually hoping that my sister Genevieve would be around. Is she still in the city that you know of?
Yes, she is, I believe. In fact, I think a small party of Protectorate something or others came through maybe a fortnight back. So she should have news, but she should be over at the Temple of Voices.
Perfect. I need to head there anyways, so wonderful. Well, that's all I really needed to know. Anybody else? Anything?
Well, you know we are information brokers, so secret for secret. Why don't you share something? Quid pro quo. Any new news around the world, around the continent?
Well, we may have stopped a calamity from happening, but you didn't hear that from us.
Yet again, stopping calamities. Every city you go to seems to have trouble follow you, but you always manage to extinguish it before real trouble hits, so... Good to know. I'll keep my eyes on the news and see if I can guess which calamity you all helped thwart.
Since you mentioned a group of protectorates, how many arrived, and were they searching for anyone specifically, or were they here for a specific reason?
She shuffles on this like big work table that she was sitting at. She doesn't like have a desk. It's not like an office. This is clearly something that a lot of them use, and it seems that a lot of information is filtered through here. She shuffles through this massive, just like unruly pile of paper, but clearly knows kind of where she's looking, what she's looking for, and pulls out a slip, and she says, yes, last report, it would appear there were 4 protectorate, cloaked people. We didn't have the knowledge. We don't spend time on people who we know are good, but, there was 4 of them reported coming through, and they did stop by the Temple of Oasis for a few days on their way through the city.
Okay. So they weren't, from what you know, they weren't doing anything in the city, and maybe they're just passing through?
That is what it seemed, yes.
Right. Well, I think maybe my sister will have a little bit more information for me about what's going on.
Perhaps, yes. The temple should be open, and your sister will either be there or close by, clericing for other people, so please stop by again if you have any more information for us, or if we can do any more digging for you.
Right. Wonderful. Alright, shall we set out, you two?
Let us.
Okay. The 3 of you head out from the Crimson Cloak Guild and make your way through the city to just straight to the Temple of Oasis, or is there anywhere else you needed to go in the meantime?
I guess as we're riding through town, Seraphina's gonna keep her eye out to see if she spots Coolguard. Just, posted up somewhere.
Okay. I'm going to roll just a chance roll.
Okay.
And I want you to roll a perception check, just keeping your eyes out.
Okay.
We'll kind of compare those 2 rolls.
Oh my gosh. Seraphina got a 3. Maybe she's a little nervous.
Yeah, she's a little nervous. Yep, I was just going to ask that based on my roll. I had a number in my head, but you tell me, are you wanting to see Coolguard or not? You yourself.
Okay.
Are you hoping to see him?
Seraphina wants to see Coolguard, but she's not sure if she wants Coolguard to see her yet.
Okay.
But she wants to scope him out just to peek on him.
Yeah, you are keeping an eye out for all the guards. You know their sort of garb well, their armor and their cloaks, and you don't see Coolguard as you walk in through this part of the city.
Yeah, she's relieved but also disappointed.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you all head over to where you last saw everybody, where you last saw Genevieve, over at the Temple of Oasis. Not where you last saw her, but where you knew that she was sort of working out of to help all the refugees coming in to the city at that time. Yeah, you walk into the temple. It's quite it's busier-ish. For a temple, there's enough people here in the city that worship Oasis, so there's some people coming and going. You can see some like young families. You can see some like elderly folks are sort of just like having coffee together, sitting in the corner, sort of talking about their childhoods or commiserating whatnot. You see some of the priests of Oasis bustling around, sort of taking care of their flock, and you do see you can see on like folded over a chair, just over the back of a chair, is like what looks like a protectorate, like woman's cloak, essentially, like clerical garb from the protectorate, which would be your next best clue of where Genevieve, that she's very likely here somewhere.
It's just like the cloak that's over the chair?
Yeah, it's sort of like her like little fabric mantle that's just sort of like folded up, and you recognize it right away. It's sort of like nicely folded, just laying over the back of a chair. Like
Okay.
she had just discarded it when she came inside.
I'll go to one of the like parishioners there, and maybe one that I saw in the past there, because I have been to this one before, way back when. Because ideally I do want to procure a couple of things from kind of like the little Inquisitor armory, more or less,
their
that they
little
have.
stockpile. Yep. Sure.
So yeah, I'll just kind of go up to parishioner there and say, hello, priest. I am one of the Inquisitores. I was hoping to ask you a few questions if you have a moment to spare.
I am here to answer them. Thank you for visiting Tuzankin. What can we do for you?
Well, one, I was hoping to be able to procure a few items from your stockpiles. I was hoping to get a couple of vials of holy water, if you happen to have some on hand.
I believe we do, yes. How many would you need?
I would probably like to procure maybe like 2 to 3 vials by chance. I have the necessary
enough, yeah.
gold. I have the necessary gold for it. And I was also wondering if there was a chaplain here by the name of Genevieve.
Genevieve, yes. She should be upstairs in the rectory. You're welcome to head up there. She, I believe, was just administering some aid to a sick family, but she should actually be wrapping up soon. So you're welcome to go up and see her when you're ready.
Wonderful.
In the meantime, I will procure that holy water from you. If you would like to make a donation, you are welcome to add to the collection plate. But for a member of the Protectorate, I believe of the Sadriv family, kind of leans in and says it a little bit quietly.
Yes, that is correct. And Killian will reach into his pouch and he'll pull out 50 gold.
Sir, that is too much.
No. There's many refugees here. There's many people in need of aid. Please, it's my honor to give.
As Oasis would. Please. I will go procure that holy water for you if you would like to just meet me back here after you speak to your sister.
Yes.
You are welcome to.
Thank you. And Killian will look back to Seraphina and Eidos. And before, he would have been a little bit more hesitant to share what's going on, but seeing how we've been traveling together for a long time and everything that they've gone through, he'll just look over to those two and say, you two are more than welcome to come up and see my sister if you so choose.
Would you like a moment alone with her? We don't want to intrude.
I mean, I leave that to your discretion. I have nothing to hide from you guys anymore.
Seraphina will nonchalantly say, "Yeah, sure, that sounds good. We'll come." And then she turns back to Eidos and's like, she's so excited. Get all the tea.
I was gonna say, did you all meet Genevieve last time, or was it just Killian that spoke to her?
I think it's just Killian.
I think just Killian spoke to her separately. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, so you guys have not met her yet. Okay.
After Seraphina does that, Eidos will say, "Yes, we would love to."
So yeah, they'll head upstairs.
Yeah, you head up to the rectory, sort of just, it's almost like an inn, excuse me, above the temple. But it's not an inn, it's just like a collection of like bedrooms for those sick or traveling protectorate or worshippers of Oasis, for pilgrims, all the different kind of people who might come through the temple in need of a bed. So you head up to the rectory, this sort of small, almost apartment-like part of the building, and you can hear there's just some like travelers that are talking in the hallway. There's some people eating lunch, but you head and you find an open door where, just like from the hallway, you can kind of hear your sister's voice speaking to what appears to be like a father and a child in two beds in the room, and she's just sort of comforting them and making sure their waters are full and that they're comfortable. And she's sort of leaving them to rest for a bit as she sort of peripherally sees you and does a double take and leaves them with some water and extra blankets and comes out into the hallway. brother. And she comes out, and you guys see her step out of the room and just wrap Killian in a big hug. She's
Yeah,
quite a
and-
bit shorter than him, so she reaches up and like wraps her arms around his neck.
Yeah, and I'll just hug her right back, and immediately kind of turn to Ados and Seraphina and says, Genevieve, these are my companions. This is Seraphina Blackthorn, and this is Ados Nawat.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
I believe the pleasure is mine, Sir Nawat. Lady Blackthorn, he said?
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. It is so nice to meet you. And she'll stick her hand out.
I just adore your dress, as she takes your hand and gives you like a little bow.
Oh, thank you.
You know, the one thing about being with the Temple of Voices is the fashion is just all the same. Wish I could express myself a bit more freely, but you're pulling it off, and I'm living vicariously through you right now.
Seraphina twirls.
You can see her. You see the family resemblance between her and Killian standing side by side. She has this like warm chestnut brown hair that's just like very gently wavy, and she keeps herself very clean and presentable. She is wearing just like her general like cleric garb, but she's fashionable. She has like a big old emblem of Oasis on her chest inside the diamond, and just appears very well kept, like she is from a good family, good stock, if you will. And presents herself quite warmly to you both. Both of you roll up an insight check, please. Killian, you can too.
Seraphina has a 15.
Ados has a 16.
Psh.
I got a
Oh, it's got one up you.
I got a nat 1 for a 2.
Awesome. This could not have gone better. Seraphina and Ados both pick up extreme flirtatious eyes between Killian's sister and Ados while she's complimenting
Oh.
Seraphina. She's given Ados the eyes, and Killian is just oblivious to it.
I think, yeah, I think Ados, once he clocks that, just kind of like his eyes dart back between her and Killian, and he's just kind of standing perfectly still.
It's giving very like big brother's hot friend energy. Sister being so nervous.
Seraphina seeing this, she's going to ask Genevieve if, hey, do you ever, after hours, change your clothes? Maybe we can go shopping and find you something cute to wear when we go out.
It has been so long since I've been home with any of my girlfriends. I would love that. Thank you. I need a little bit of estrogen time, to be quite honest.
We
I
can
would
have
adore
a
that.
girls' night. And she picks up Glitterbell.
Oh,
And she
who
sees
are
her.
you? Oh, and she just immediately takes Glitterbell's face and is like scratching under her like little jaw scales, and it's just like, I'm obsessed with you. Oh, her name's Glitterbell. Are you so for real? Like,
Yes.
you're just
Glitterbell's just eating it up.
a little dragon tail just whipping. Yes. I'm so sorry, brother. Okay, your friends are very cool. First of all, surprising for you. But all that to say, what brings you back to Zuzenkin? Where have you been? Okay, that's a silly question. I've been scrying on you a bit, so I'm a bit caught up, though bits and pieces cannot possibly fill in the gap of how the hell you've ended up all over this and the Eastern continent for the last few weeks.
Yeah, maybe that's something best to talk about in private if we can maybe manage a room somewhere.
Oh, of course, please. And she leads you down, like, further down through this rectory around a corner and into one of the rooms that's not being used right now, and clicks the door closed. It's clearly, like, the room that she's been staying in here. And she has, like, a little tea table set, and with, like, a nice little tablecloth laid over it, a nice lace tablecloth, and little lace doilies. She obviously likes the finer things a little bit. You can see she has some clothes hung up on a bar. Yeah, but otherwise it's pretty sparse. It's a rectory room, so she allows you all to sit, and she sort of like just takes like a proper little seat on the edge of the bed, legs crossed. Okay, tell me everything.
Well, first thing I just want to know, have you been okay? Has anyone accosted you in any sort of manner? Anyone from the Protectorate at all?
No, I've been quite well. Things have been relatively quiet in Tuzenkin. This is a wonderful city, even better now that some of the leadership has turned over. I know we are neutral parties here and outsiders, but I can't say I'm displeased by the way things have gone in the city since you all were last here. No, I'm quite safe, and the temple takes good care of me. I never leave the temple after dark alone, of course.
Okay, that's good. I heard a few Protectorate members had came through to Zankin maybe a few weeks ago.
Yes, actually, Jonah was with them.
He was.
Yes.
What was he doing here?
Well, they were just doing a general, I suppose, like you would call it something like a wellness check. I believe he was sort of the commander of just, he couldn't say exactly what his mission was on the continent, but it didn't seem to be anything particularly time sensitive or pressing. He didn't seem stressed, at least.
Well,
I believe that he and the others were on some sort of information gathering, and then they were going to head back west.
Well, that's good that it was Jonah and not anyone else. Well, I mean, one thing I can say, and this is maybe going back a few weeks now, but while we were traveling on the road, we were attacked by some members of the Protectorate. They wouldn't take my word that one of our other companions that we were traveling with was indeed a kind soul, and
members of the Protectorate attacked you.
Mm-hmm.
Did they know you were of the Protectorate? Did they know who you were?
I clearly was brandishing my cloak. I explained who I was, and
You told them you're a Sadrith.
yes, and our family's reputation. I think, well, they didn't quite believe me.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that does give me pause. I will be a bit more watchful than even with our own. Do you want me to ask around and see if I can find anything out? Perhaps one of the priests.
Well, everyone here seemed to be quite amenable to our family, so I feel like if you were to ask someone around here, the news would be quite, well, tight-lipped, not spread around too much.
Yes, I think so too. I do trust the priests that are here and the other clerics that are working with me, so I will ask those I can certainly trust, and I can use a little bit of... I can charm a bit if I have to, if I'm feeling a little bit insecure about their intentions.
The other thing is that I haven't really been able to get too much information about brother and father, but the little bit of information that I did get was down in Nerdistan. And Killian will pull out this glyph of warding, or sorry, it was like a glyph of demon warding. Let me just see, what was it called? Yeah, a glyph of demon warding. And he'll just say, this was, I was speaking to actually a friend of yours, Seraphine and Eidos. What was her name? Hold on. I wrote it down. Wait.
You mean one of the mean girls?
Yeah. I believe her name was Sylvie.
Yes, Sylvie's. Yep.
Well, when I was speaking to her, she recognized the symbol on my back and said that she was tasked with... she was working on some wards, and she was actually contracted by Julian to produce this. And he'll just he'll hand it over to Genevieve for her to look at.
Our Julian.
Yes, our Julian. And she said that he was going to be in the Oran Empire.
Demons.
Or I should say she met him in the Oran Empire. I know you said that the last time you tried to scry on brother and father, you weren't able to see anything. Not that they were dead or anything like that, but just not able to visualize them. with your magic.
Killian, I can't scry on anybody not on this plane. They may not be dead. I assumed it was because they had perished.
Hmm.
They may be on a different plane, and if they're on a different plane, that plane may be the Abyss.
That's
If this is what he was looking for, or trying to procure, then
yes.
he knew he was going to the Abyss.
I mean, with things that I've learned about dealings in Thorcedon, with Mother's notes that were given to me, it would seem like they are dealing with things in the Abyss. And
Okay.
I know sometimes brother and father like to rush headlong into things, especially when it's about maintaining safety and order. So I wouldn't put it past them.
And the Abyss is the exact opposite of safety and order, so...
Hmm.
Okay. What do we do then?
That's a fantastic question. I'm hesitant to bring up anything to the order, seeing how, well,
They attacked you.
yeah, exactly. I've been using an alias as much as possible when I'm out and about, but, you know, sometimes the facial scars kind of give it away as to who I am if someone truly knows our family.
Yes. Maybe, as much as I loathe to leave Tuzenkin, maybe it's time I return home and see what I can learn. I'm a bit less recognizable, and I've grown quite a bit since I left. Perhaps I can go and try and do some digging in person, even just as a member of the Protectorate, and I can play dumb, which they will all expect.
I mean, you know, you always have Maribeth to reach out to. I'm sure she would
Of course.
help us out. And, well, if Jonah is still on the main continent, but perhaps he's gone back to Cordia. You know,
Yeah, by now he may have, yes.
He's always a reliable friend. I would trust him with anything.
Okay. Okay, well, with your leave, if you think it's the right move. There's nothing keeping me here. They have more than what they need,
And I suppose I should let you in on one more thing, because if you're going to be scrying on me, there might be the potential that you might not be able to see me in a few days.
You're not going to the Abyss too, are you?
No, somewhere else. A friend of mine is from the Fae, and, well, to put it bluntly, we're going to help him take his home back.
This is the friend that they were attacking? Or...
Yes.
Interesting.
He was displaced from the Fae, and, you know, we've formed quite the strong bond in our travels together, and my friends here, as well as a few other compatriots, are going to help him take it back.
Look at you, big brother, making all kinds of new friends. I am just tickled. I never expected it from you. Not to say that you're not also a very interesting and cool person. You are. She sort of looks over at Serafina like, my brother's so cool. But you've always been a bit of a, well, not always, but of recent years, been a bit more alone than I would have liked, so I'm glad you have sort of a camaraderie with some people.
Well, the life of an Inquisitor is usually a solitary one, but, well, thankfully I found some great friends to travel with.
Well, I'm happy to see it. I am nervous of this new development with father and brother, but I do think you've given me some more hope than I've had in a while for their well-being. If they're in the Abyss, I can't say how well they'd be doing. The Abyss is no joke, but if anybody can handle it, the Sawdrifts can.
Well, that's kind of all I got in terms of updates.
Okay.
Do you have any way of outside of scrying on me, reaching me by magical means if you need to communicate with me?
I believe we have some sending stones downstairs that were donated. I can see if those still work and give you one.
That would be
That
perfect.
would be our best option. Okay. Come. Let's go down to the armory. And she takes you down to sort of the stockpile that they have for inquisitors. And indeed, you find the priest that you had spoken to pouring the last of the holy water that you asked for from a larger container into a couple more travel-sized vials. And she leads you all in after giving Seraphina and Ados like a tour a bit as she's walking you through. She's walking all through the temple, telling you about the building and the history, and proselytizing Oasis a little bit. But also slipping in fun little anecdotes about how awkward and weird Killian was when he was 12.
Yum, 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 yum.
And she finds a very like old and worn pair of sending stones, like obviously a donation that someone's grandmother had lying around when she died or something. Estate sale level sending stones. And she like tests them, and there's like this horrible like audio radio feedback. And she's like, oh, you should not do that in the same room. But they work. And she hands one over to you. I'll keep mine on me at all times. But I think unless you plan to stay in Tuzenkin long, I will set out as soon as you do for home. I will set out for home as soon as you leave the city. Where are you heading next? So besides potentially Feywild, any other plans?
Well, I believe, and I look over to Ados and Seraphina, I believe maybe in the next day or so we'll be heading to Nerdistan.
Oh, I passed through Nerdistan when I arrived on the continent. Beautiful city.
Oh, I'm glad you think so.
Of course I do. I have good taste. Well, all things considered now, Lady Seraphina, rain check on our shopping. Perhaps you come to my stomping ground and we meet there for a bit of an excursion? A girls' night?
Yes, that sounds very lovely. I'll have to bring Ados too. He needs a shopping trip.
I think his clothes fit him quite nicely.
Thank you. And Ados will kind of look 45 degrees to the left. Nothing in particular.
At the wall.
Off into the middle distance.
Yes.
Jade better watch out.
Well, I'm sure Seraphina would appreciate a tour of our estate in Thronfo.
It really is beautiful. We have some of the most incredible woodlands that you've ever seen. The monster concentration is still a bit high for my liking, but nothing the Protectorate doesn't handle.
I look forward to it. Thank you.
Oh, we have great shopping. We get all the best from the East.
Ooh.
Well, brother, it's so good to see you, alive and well. And in person.
Well, here's hoping that it stays that way with where we're going.
Indeed. Yes, please update me as soon as you're back on this side. I will be scrying on you daily to see when you arrived back. And I will call you.
Perfect. And, when you head home, be extra cautious. Especially in regards to Blackwood and Voss.
Blackwood and Voss.
I
will be cautious, but I will dig into them.
Mother's final notes were of them specifically.
Okay. All right, I'll learn what I can, and I will do so as quietly and carefully as I possibly can manage.
And Keelan will just give her a big hug and just say, be safe.
She squeezes you tight back and gives you a kiss on the cheek. You do as well, please. We're gonna need you in the days to come, I fear. All right, we have work to do.
And we'll set out. Make sure I grab my holy water.
Yeah, you have it. And a sending stone connected to Genevieve.
I think when we exit, Ados will turn to Killian and say, well, that was certainly a lot. How come you never said any of this before?
I mean, we had a lot going on at the time. I wanted to see if my sister could corroborate anything. Um,
Well,
it just didn't seem like the time. We'll put it that way.
it does seem like a very large situation you're in. I have 100 questions that I'll refrain from asking you until you're ready to talk about them. But should you ever need help with this situation, do let us know. We'll be there.
Well, let's help Marroway out first and see if we come out unscathed from that battle, and then we'll tackle jiving into the abyss.
One troubled home at a time, I suppose.
And boy, do you all have troubled homes.
I need more stories of awkward, nerdy Killian when he was younger.
Well, she would have plenty of those, so I'm sure the next time you all get together, I'm sure she'll tell you a few more tales.
Ooh. Looking forward to it.
I can't wait.
Okay, any other business you're all heading to as you're talking into Zenkin, or are you going to make your way back to the Lumberyard teleportation circle to head out to Nerdistan? It's probably about late afternoon now, getting into the evening.
I think Eidos will kind of loudly announce, well, I guess that's all we're here for. Shall we make our way back? Looking daggers into Seraphina.
Well, wouldn't it be nice just to find some lunch here?
I think you all hear lunch, and you think of one spot and one spot only: the Buoyant Banshee.
It's late afternoon. You never eat lunch around this time, Seraphina. Is there another reason you want to go to the Buoyant Banshee?
Yeah, of course, to see Barnacle.
I kind of feel like Bula's eating schedule has rubbed off on me a little bit. I'm just famished right now.
Killian is so hungry.
Fine. Fine only because of Barnacle. Maybe we can see our donkey as well.
I do miss Mjolnir.
Mjolnir, man.
Didn't they leave him in like hell?
No, he escaped hell with us.
No, I think we got him out of hell. Barely.
And then you left him somewhere else.
In safe
I
hands.
forgot about him.
He will come back to haunt you one day.
The final boss.
Maybe he made that decision. He's the final boss. He's actually Emperor Orin.
Oh, no.
He's right. Emperor Orin rides atop Mjolnir into battle.
You left me.
Okay, you guys make your way to the very familiar now Buoyant Banshee Tavern, where Barnacle and his wife Hattie are well into their early evening drinks and dinner service. The lunch menu is not being served anymore, but dinner is coming out of the kitchen for those who want it. It's like pretty well closing time for a lot of the businesses and the laborers in the city, so like usual, the Buoyant Banshee is popping. You guys walk into this big rustic, sort of ocean-themed bar, and you see Barnacle and Hattie just slinging food and drinks behind that bar, like it's their job, because it is. And Seraphina, roll me a perception check. Eidos and Killian, if you would also be looking around the room for Cool Guard, you're welcome to do so as well.
I'm not.
Eidos is. He's on
Seraphina,
full...
what'd you get?
Oh, I was saying Eidos is definitely looking. He's on full alert.
Seraphina got a 17.
Okay.
I think Eidos maybe sees Barnacle and gets excited a little bit. I rolled a 7.
Okay, 17 for Seraphina. Indeed, the day is over. You have made this one of Cool Guard's favorite places when you were back in the city. This is where a lot of the guards have been coming to hang out after their shift ends. And sure enough, you see him at a table of very handsome, very young city guards. And some pretty city guard ladies. Having a drink around a high top table and playing a game of cards. He has not spotted you yet.
Okay, so Serafina is going to head over to the bar and make her greetings to Barnacle and Hattie. And, just getting reacquainted with Ados and Killian and just chatting it up. And then she's going to actually send a drink over to Coolguard.
That is so suave and cool. Hattie, you take it to that table over there, and she looks at them all, and she's like, "Yes, my lady, I will." Pours him a double and takes it over, and you can't hear them, but you see her give it to him, like put it in front of him, and he's like, "I didn't order this," kind of thing, and Hattie points over to the bar. What do you do?
Serafina is going to just flip her hair and look over and smile at him.
He immediately takes his drink and raises it to you and downs it in one, puts it on the table, throws his hand of cards in, to fold, and everybody around the table's like, "Come on, man." And he gets up and comes over to you. Lady Blackthorn, it's been a minute.
Oh, you recognize me.
Of course I do. I would never forget a pretty face, even when that face is looking a little bit more textured than usual. What do you have going on, girl?
Oh, just been making a couple changes. What do you think? And she kind of poses.
This lighting on your skin. Wow. You are radiant. You're like a night sky, girl, just walking into this bar. Where have you been all my life?
Just here and there.
He gestures to Barnacle for 2 more drinks for you guys. Down the way, and he's like, "All right, so what you been up to? You been I see you're hanging out with the old crowd. Hey, bruh." To Ados.
Ados has both hands on the bar. He's looking straight forward like he's an old cowboy, just nursing a shot of whiskey. He does not acknowledge.
Right. Playing it cool as you always do, man. I respect it. Killian, what's going on, man?
It's Killian just give him a nod. And at the same time, Killian's going to do something a little fancy. He's going to use Zone of Truth, but also use meta magic, because I can do this now, and cast it as a subtle spell, so it doesn't use any verbal verbal somatic. So
okay,
he's got to make a charisma saving throw. The DC is 16.
Okay.
And if he fails, he cannot deliberately lie.
Wow.
4. He failed.
So he cannot deliberately tell a lie in this whole situation.
Do we have to roll for it too?
Awesome.
Yeah, I guess if you're well, actually, let me see.
Are you in the zone? Yeah, is it 5 feet, 15 feet? Are you trying to focus it just on Coolguard?
Well, it's a 15-foot area, so yeah, it can be those two as well. You're just influenced by it.
Yeah. You're all standing. It's kind of crowded in the bar, so you're all standing pretty close together along the bar.
I got 13.
Serafina has a 25.
Okay, I think that means Serafina passes, but Ados doesn't. What was the DC?
16.
Yep. Okay, Serafina, you can lie. Ados cannot. And you don't know what's happening. You do not realize this spell is cast.
All right.
Coolguard says, I can't lie. I wasn't waiting for you or anything, but maybe I should have. Why did I just say that? Did you like it?
I mean, I don't hate it, that's for sure.
Would you hate it if I played you a little song? And he looks over at the stage where a band has obviously kind of been playing for part of the night, but are on break.
Yes.
Ooh, yes. I would
All right, Ados, I like the honesty. He goes over to the stage and picks up a lute, and he starts strumming out the first chords of Wonderwall.
Yeah.
And he sings like an angel. His voice and his playing is really good. He obviously like really practices his music. This is clearly his hobby. Because it may be the most basic song, but he's singing it. And he's making hard eye contact with you, Seraphina.
Seraphina's into it. She's into it.
Eidos, you're still in the zone of truth.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stage, just the most awful scowl of disgust on my face.
Oh my gosh, he's so good, isn't he, Eidos?
I suppose technically he's talented, though he's no artist.
And he plays the song, and the whole crowd is like singing along. It's not Wonderwall, obviously. Wonderwall doesn't exist in this world. I wish it did. He's playing this world's equivalent to Wonderwall, so the whole bar knows it. Everybody's singing along. It's a jam. He finishes playing. He takes a shot at the end. The crowd cheers, and he comes right back over and shoulders back in next to you, right back into the zone of truth, and he doesn't realize it's there. I do that to impress all the girls that I think are really hot. I don't know why I said that.
And how often do you play that song?
Oh, probably anytime anybody asks me to play a song. I only know 3 songs.
What are the
That
other
one's
two?
the ladies' favorite. I know this world's equivalent of Sweet Caroline.
Magus Brightside, yeah.
Yeah. 100% yes. I'm trying to learn Panic at the Tavern. Just their whole discography. There's not a bad album from them. But yeah, what brings you back to our city, guys?
Well, we were just catching up with Killian's sister, and we've just catching up with Killian's sister. We've gotten ourselves in some sticky situations, and
Killian, you've got a sister? I bet she's as hot as you are. I do like men and women. Why do I keep saying this stuff? Seraphina, you just make me an honest man. I like that.
ooh,
I don't like that.
yes, Killian's sister is very beautiful.
As pretty as you? You just have something about you. You've got this glow now. I like it. It's not just the scales. Those are gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, but you seem, I don't know. There's a confidence about you, and I know you've always been confident. You're Lady Blackthorn. I don't know. You look like you've been through some stuff and came out the other side a little better for it, huh?
Yeah, there's just been a lot happening, and we just keep winning, so I can't help it.
Just keep winning. Well, I like a tough broad. Let's get another round of drinks, shall we? This is 3rd shot since you guys have been in here. He's sloshed. Well, where are you off to? Are you in the city for a while? Do you wanna get together? Go out some night?
We're not here for very long. We just popped in. We got a skedaddle to, take care of some business.
I would love to get into your business.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that.
Help us?
Yeah? You need some help? I'm here to help you, girl. Chizenkin, listen, I love this city. It's my heart. It's my home. But it's been kind of boring lately. There's a lot of guards and not a lot of crime.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just pretty much walking around the streets saying hi to whoever loses their watermelon cart. That's the most exciting thing that happened to me this week, besides you walking into this bar.
I don't know. Things are gonna get pretty crazy. Do you really think you can keep up and help out?
Girl, I can keep up. Eidos knows I can keep up. Ain't that right, Eidos?
Keep up with
We really
what?
get each other.
You don't get anything about me, but I get you. I've got you figured out. Cool guard.
Cool Guard. Yeah, I haven't been called that since you guys were last in town. I love that nickname.
That's a nickname?
Wait, do you guys not know my name?
No, we don't know your name. We never have.
Serafina.
Yeah, I know your name. Don't be silly.
Yeah, you're too.
Oh, guard.
You're too sweet. I do love that nickname. Totally disarmed. We're at, well, I mean, listen. I've got like a bunch of vacation days saved up. Because I don't have to work very hard. So if you want me to come help you out with something, I'm happy to. Anything to spend more time with a pretty little thing like yourself.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll definitely be in touch.
Yeah, you know where to find me. You know where I live and my name and my address, how to write me a letter. You could write me letters if you wanted to. I wouldn't be opposed to that. Send me a couple little portraits every now and then.
Okay, yeah.
Some, like bedtime portraits, maybe.
Bedtime portraits. Oh, it's funny.
You know, just don't be a stranger.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'll reach you.
I'm looking forward to it.
Killian's gonna look over to Ados and like under the table, just like brandish his gun, just like look at Ados. It's just be like, just you need this.
Only if you want to become my best friend for the rest of your life.
just like slide it over to him.
Alright, well, Cool Guard takes his 5th shot and he's like, listen, I got a card game to go win, but you call me anytime, girl, and I'm there.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to keep you in mind.
Yeah, send me a hey you up letter. I'm up. Alright.
Bye.
Killian, always honest, always honest.
Yes, you are.
Those boys. Another very successful interaction Serafina has with a man. So no truth. Okay. You guys spend your night. I don't know if you stay at the Boy and Banshee even after you're like, we're leaving, and then you just stay at the bar drinking, not talking to Cool Guard. Or if you leave. But regardless of how you guys choose to proceed, that's what we're gonna call it for tonight. So, thank you all for playing. That was very silly and fun. Thank you all for watching. You're all silly and fun in the chat. We love you. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll be back next week, Monday night, 7 Central, 8 Eastern on Twitch. Check out our backlog on YouTube. If you don't know who the heck Cool Guard is, it's only like episodes 1 through 5. Just go watch those for all the context. He makes a lot of waves when he's in the show. So go back and watch so you can feel like you know everything we're talking about. We love you all. Have a good night.